Hi, I'm Hans Hohenner. I'm a systems engineer at Keysight. Today, we're going to take a VisionOne out of the box from the factory and show how easy it is to set up in a network. So let's take a look at what comes with your VisionOne. Inside the box, once we open it up, we got a placard, shows you VisionOne. You can do whatever you want with that. Furthermore, inside, once you open it up, you got your power cords. You've got a serial cable that's got DV9 on one end and RJ45 on the other, once I show it there. Next is your USB stick. This has your license for the unit that you just purchased inside of it. Got some safety information and your warranty paperwork there. We'll toss that aside for now. And lastly, your rack mount kits. So let's take a look at the VisionOne itself. We'll take the packaging material, kind of toss it to the side here, and look at it. On the back, I'm putting in the rack mount kit. So in a 19-inch rack, these would go in, you'd screw it in, you'd mount it in the rack that way. Then on the side here, we've got your data port. This is your serial port you'll use for your initial configuration. You can see the settings on the screen. Then we've got redundant power supplies, your alarm port, and hot swappable fans for cooling the unit. On the front, the bottom port here is your PTP, that's Precision Time Protocol. The top is your OEM Ethernet port. Then you've got 4 QSFP Plus ports, 48 SFP Plus, and finally over on the right you've got your power LEDs. So now that we've unboxed the VisionOne, I've gone ahead and racked and stacked it in my home lab. Next I'm going to go ahead and power cycle the box. You'll hear the fan spin up here in a second. And while it's doing its initial boot, let's talk about the final 4 steps required to configure the box. The first is to connect to the serial port and configure the IP address for the management interface. That's what we'll be doing next, and you can see the boot log messages going in this putty screen beside you here. After that, we will switch to a web browser and apply the latest license configuration. You should have gotten this through an email address when you purchased the gear. Third, after the license is installed, we will update the software on the VisionOne to the latest version off the support website. Finally, and fourth, we will apply last configuration items like DNS and NTP to the box to make sure it's fully functional within your environment. So the VisionOne has fully booted now, and I'm connected to the serial port on the back side that we discussed earlier in the video. So now let's get an IP address on the management interface port. So the first thing I'm going to do is just hit return to make sure that it's booted, and you see the status normal here highlighted on the screen. That tells me it's done booting. So the normal IP address that it comes with is 192.168.41.99. Does not work on my home network. I doubt it works in your production network. So let's go ahead and change that. So I'm going to select item 3 here, IPv4 configuration, and I'm going to give it an IP address that does work in my home environment. The subnet mask works for me, so I'm not going to modify that, but I do need to put the proper gateway on here. Now I'm going to commit the changes and type yes, and as soon as I hit enter here after the yes, it's going to reboot the box again, so I'll see you in about 5 minutes. So the box is now configured itself with the correct IP address. So let's now switch to a web interface and proceed to step 2, which is apply the license to the box. So I'm going to go through a web interface, just go to its IP address over HTTPS. So let's now go log into the box. So here, this Launch Web Console, I'm going to click on this button. It's going to take me to the box. I'll use the default admin password that comes from the box in the factory. Log in, and sometimes you might get a pop-up here saying that the license is not valid. This box has been used before, so I don't get that. But if I look at the license, if I go System, License, and look at the license, I'm recording this on July 27th. The license expires in a couple days, so I need to put a new license on here anyways. So I click on Enter License Key. This is a license here. It'll be on the USB stick that we talked about earlier in the video. I take that text file, which you can read. and click Open and OK, and it's installing a license. While it's installing a license, I'm going to go out to the support site and download the latest software. So I go to Software Downloads, scroll down to the bottom, look for VisionOne Network Packet Broker, and I want to grab version 5.5. This is the VisionOne, so I want to grab the VisionOne code, and that would be this one right here. So I just right-click, download, save link as, and I'll save this to my desktop. I've already saved it off before this video, so I'm going to hit cancel here. And I'm going to switch back to the VisionOne. Once it's done with the license, it'll log you out. So just log right back in again. And now we want to install the software. So as you can see up here under version, I'm running 5.4.0.10. The latest code as of today is 5.5. So I'm going to go ahead and upgrade it. So I go System, Version. Real quick here, there's an ability to revert to a prior version if you have it. But I'm going to click Install Software. Grab the software, the zip file from the support site. You do not need to worry about unzipping it. It'll take care of it on its own. Just grab that file, click Open, confirm the version in the dialog box, and then hit OK. Takes a couple minutes to upload. After it's uploading, it's going to apply this new code and reboot the box. And so that takes about 5 or 10 minutes. So I will pause the video here, and I'll see you back when it's done. And we're back. The box has now upgraded itself, and we're back at the login screen. So I'm going to go ahead and log back in. And you can see I'm running version 5.5.0. So the last thing we need to do now is set any of the local environment settings for your environment. So to do that, you go System and then Settings. The first section you want to probably take a look at is in the remote services here for DNS, MTP, SNMP, syslog, as well as authentication, or you can tie it to any sort of local AD or other authentication domain that you might have set up in your environment. I'm going to hit cancel there. And the next item to look at is system info. Here you give it a name. After that, you probably want to look at your timeout, your time zone, and a login banner that you might want to advertise, as well as locking down the serial port with a username and password if you'd like to do that. Beyond that, there's many other settings you can apply here. Feel free to reach out to us at jointhejourney@keysite.com, and I would love to talk to you more about how you're using the Ixia and Keysight equipment within your environment.